Hi, thanks for joining us. President Trump says nearly every federal agency in the U.S. government could fall under the scrutiny of Elon Musk and the White House's Department of Government Efficiency, known as DOGE. The first big target is USAID, the federal agency tasked with overseeing humanitarian programs worldwide. Crews have begun removing the agency's signage at its Washington headquarters. However, a federal judge on Friday issued a temporary restraining order blocking thousands of employees from being put on leave by midnight. The president also held a joint news conference Friday with Japan's prime minister, where he made news on the future of Pennsylvania-based company U.S. Steel. We'll have more on that in a moment. But first, here's what President Trump said about DOGE, which, as a reminder, is not a federal agency and operates independently.
I'm very proud of the job that this group of young people, generally young people, but very smart people, they're doing. They're doing it at my insistence. It would be a lot easier not to do it, but we have to take some of these things apart to find the corruption.
CBS News White House reporter Willie James Inman is following the president in West Palm Beach, Florida. So, Willie, what did the president say about the scope of Elon Musk and DOGE? Which federal agencies could see changes next?
Hey there, Lindsay. Good to be with you this evening. Well, President Trump is saying that Elon Musk has a wide latitude in terms of going after wasteful government spending, as you mentioned there in the lead up to the shot that we played with President Trump earlier today. He talked about how proud he was of the job that DOGE is doing, but he also mentioned a couple of government agencies, more specifically the Department of Education, but also the Pentagon, military spending. He called the efforts there something that not only that he's proud of, but also that some things have no value. He said trillions of dollars being wasted without going into specifics. Now, Elon Musk, who's a special government employee, has said that he wants to save the U.S. government billions of dollars. He's hoping to do that over the next several months with this title that he's been given there at the White House. He's not receiving any money being paid for this role, but still, nonetheless, he has wide latitude to go after wasteful government spending. And one other agency, a key agency that Americans perhaps see information from the agency every day, that's NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration that heads up the National Weather Service. The National Weather Service, of course, disperses information that meteorologists use every day to predict the weather. That could potentially be an agency that is also in focus of DOGE efforts to reduce government spending. Lindsay?
We will have more on that later in the show, but I also want to ask you about U.S. Steel. The president says Japanese firm Nippon Steel will invest in U.S. Steel but not own it. How much clarity do we have from the White House on this agreement and how it would work?
Yeah, the president alluded to some news that he was going to give earlier in the day when he was sitting down with the Japanese prime minister. Now, he talked about how Nippon Steel would make a large investment into U.S. Steel. Remember, Nippon Steel had made a bid to purchase, essentially take over U.S. Steel. But not only did President Trump, then a candidate, oppose this deal, but President Biden and candidate then former Vice President Harris, she opposed this deal as well. So it was rare to have all three of these politicians that are on different sides of the aisle in alignment with this particular deal. The president didn't really get into specifics, but he said that there will be a large investment. It's not going to be a majority stake investment, meaning that Nippon Steel wouldn't have control of U.S. Steel. But he also mentioned that he'll meet with the leaders of Nippon Steel next week. We'll have to wait and see what details come about in terms of the planning of that meeting. But still, nonetheless, it is a significant development. And during this press conference earlier today, not only did President Trump talk about investments that Japan is going to make into the United States, but the prime minister as well talked about $1 trillion investment into the United States to draw those closer ties between both Japan and the United States, which, of course, are really great partners in terms of military to military ties, and also those economic partnerships that both countries, I should say, share.
$1 trillion, not an insignificant number. Willie James Inman, thank you.